What is up, you guys? This is JP, and in this video we're going to talk about workout splits. So for those of you who make your own program, or you are building a program for someone else, you might be a trainer watching this video, workout splits, or how you set up and structure your workout throughout the week, can be a little bit confusing depending on who you ask. Now, I'll preface this video by saying, no, it's not that important in the grand scheme of things, and there are a lot of workout splits and structures that can work for a variety of different goals. I've said this before and I'll say it again, there are very few black and whites in fitness. There's very few, oh, you have to do this or you can never do this to reach your goals. So don't watch this video with the mindset of that I'm going to be saying you need to do a push-pull leg split or you need to do an upper-lower split and think that I'm going to say that's the best. I've done videos on all the splits before. I might do them in the future, but this video is more about critical thinking and how to kind of come up with a split that's going to be the most beneficial to you. And there are going to be scenarios where if you set up your program this way, it might not lead to the best outcome versus setting it up this way. So this is more of critical thinking, and for those of you who are building your own programs. So when you're coming up with your own split, or you're kind of find out how to structure your workout when it comes to, should I do an upper lower split? It could be an upper lower 1 time per week each for 2 workouts a week. It could be upper lower for 4 times per week. Or it could be upper lower 3 times each for 6 times per week. Or you're like, should I do a push pull leg split? Should I do the bro split, hitting every muscle group 1 time per week with a lot of volume on each day? However you want to set it up, the main thing that's going to matter over everything, and it doesn't matter what your goals are. It could be you're a competitive athlete, or it could be just you working out for fun, is going to be adherence to your lifestyle. Adherence is going to have 2 parts here, and I'm going to start with adherence to your lifestyle. I've worked with people who have made this mistake before. I've asked them, okay, so what's practical? We talked a little bit about this with the person. We've gone back and forth, and they almost get a little bit too ambitious. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's good to be ambitious, but a lot of people set the bar too high. Let me give you an example. I have someone I worked with who wanted to do 5 workouts throughout the week, 2 with me and 2 at home. And I said, that's kind of a lot. Let's just start with 2 at the gym with me, and then I'll program you 2 more at home. And we'll see if you can stick to that. This person, due to their lifestyle and the stuff they had going on outside of the gym, found it hard to adhere to the 2 workouts here and 2 workouts at home. And they were, initially or originally wanting to do 5 workouts. So when you're looking at a split and you're trying to figure out, okay, should I do a upper lower 3 times each for 6 times per week, or bro splits, which is gonna have you do whatever 5-6 days per week. You need to kind of tailor it to whatever you're trying to do and outside of the gym. So if you're someone who, you're a mom or a dad and you got a full-time job and you have other obligations, whatever they may be, then trying to work out 6 times per week might not be the best bet. So sometimes if you're aiming, I don't want to, I'm not trying to sound negative or, pessimistic, but if you're aiming a little bit too high and the bar's too high and you can't adhere to it, you might end up with less results in the long run. So you have to look at a split in regards to adherence in that way. So you need to pick a split that's going to be tailored to your lifestyle. Also, this sounds a bit ridiculous, but you also have to, it sounds ridiculous, but it's definitely not. But you have to pick a split based off what you find fun. So for example, me, I wouldn't say I hate legs, but I don't want to do legs too much. So before I started, trying to compete for powerlifting, I'm now far ways away, but I'm trying to get ready for my first powerlifting competition. So I'm kind of giving up a little bit of the things I like to perform better. But when I was making my own program, I liked doing legs 2 per week. Now, I probably could have seen better results doing 3 times per week, but for me, that's not fun. So this is part 2 of adherence for you, is you have to think what is actually fun for you. If you're someone who likes to do bro splits, and I don't care what the science says, and the science isn't even against bro splits if you structure it a certain way, and this is why I said, you know, we need to get away from the black and white thinking. If you like doing bro splits and you love that split because it's just fun and you like getting a pump that way, then screw what everyone else says or what everyone else thinks. If that's something that gets you up out of bed to go to the gym, then why not stick to that? So again, you have to think about it for fun too. So you have to look at adherence from both ways, and you have to pick a split based off that. So don't pick a split that you can't adhere to, and then that's not fun for you. Now, past adherence is you have to think about training age. So if you're a beginner, if you're someone just starting out, you have to realize that you need to kind of ease into working out. So if you're looking at a program, or you're trying to build a program and you're like, you know, I want to be in the gym a lot, so I'm going to do, you know, a push, pull legs, that's probably not going to be the best split for you, in my opinion. You know, again, all these splits you can make work, but let's not try to force a split that's not going to work. So if you're someone just starting out, you have to think, okay, generally as a trainer, I like to program, you know, 2 to 3 times per week frequency for muscle groups and specific lifts if they're training for strength. So if you're looking at a push-pull leg split, an upper body push, an upper body pull, and legs, then you're gonna have to think, okay, you have 2 routes here with that split. You can either do each of those twice per week for 6 workouts per week, or you can do each of those 1 time per week, upper body push, upper body pull, and legs. Either one is kind of a bad split for someone just starting out, in my opinion. And again, I could make it work, but it's not the most beneficial, because if you're just a beginner, then think about it. If you do the first option, just push, pull legs 1 time per week, you're only hitting a muscle group 1 time per week. This isn't gonna expose the person to a lot of practice for these new exercises they're doing. And it's probably gonna end up being too much volume on those days, since you're doing a lot of pull or a lot of push. And then again, the other alternative is to do that split twice for 6 times per week, and I would pretty much never have a beginner workout 6 times per week. So again, in that aspect, you kind of have to be careful. So again, I could make it work. You could do extremely low volume and make it work. You can make any of these work, but would I recommend that? No. So again, on the flip side, you got to think an advanced trainee might need something with a little bit more volume if they're trying to push the envelope. So let's just say someone has the capacity to work out more than twice per week, wants to work out more than twice per week, but they pick a split where they're only working out twice per week. That might not be getting them the best results. So you got to think, if you're someone more advanced, you probably could do a push-pull leg split, especially if it tailors to your training age and you enjoy doing it. So your training age is definitely something you have to look at in regards to the split, and is it going to come to you? If you're a beginner, don't pick something where you're working out all the time. DOMS is going to be way too high. You're not going to get the best results probably, and then you're not going to get a lot of exposure to specific exercises and those new motor patterns. So in that sense, you kind of want to tailor it to training age. So the last point that you want to kind of consider when looking at a split is going to be your goals. So depending on whatever you're aiming for, it's going to be a little bit different in regards to what split you want. So if you're someone who's trying to compete for powerlifting, for example, and again, like I said many times, is you can make anything work. But if you're competing in powerlifting and you're doing a program, or you're building your own program, and let's just say you have a block of training right before your meet, you're not gonna pick a bro split, or you, in my opinion, shouldn't probably pick a bro split right before your the block of training right before your meet, because again, that's probably gonna lead to you only doing those major lifts 1 time per week if you're doing a traditional bro split. And again, benching 1 time per week probably isn't the best way to get you very skilled at that movement right before a powerlifting meet. So again, goals matter in regards to the split you're gonna do. So, and again, you kind of have to look at all of this. This is critical thinking. If you're someone who is like, you know, if you're telling me, okay, I'll never work out if I'm not doing a bro split, then you're gonna have to do a bro split, because then you won't be in the gym and you won't make any gains. But most people aren't that extreme. So in regards to splits, you have to look at your goal. A bodybuilder might have a little bit more flexibility with what type of split they kind of want to do versus someone trying to compete in powerlifting or strongman, if the powerlifter or strongman is strictly looking for the best results in competition. So again, in that sense, goals are definitely going to matter. So let me give you 2 quick examples of maybe a split in an example. So like I said initially with a beginner, if you have a beginner, someone who's a beginner, okay, they're probably going to get sore even if you're training them far from failure, and you want them to be exposed to specific motor patterns frequently so they can kind of get used to these. So for a beginner, 3 times per week or 2 times per week total body split. It's kind of not really a split, but total body would be a good idea for them. Now, a bad idea for them would be, again, giving them a push-pull legs 6 times per week split. Again, I could make it work if I had to, but should I do that? No. If you're someone looking at that, you need to use some critical thinking. Should you do that as a trainer or as an individual building your own program? No. So in that sense, I kind of wouldn't. That would be a good and a bad example of what to do with the new trainee. So let's take someone who is, an advanced bodybuilder. We'll take another example. Let's just say they're lifting and they have a lagging body part. Let's just say their chest is lagging and they're trying to make it better, and they're doing bro splits. Let's just say they like doing bro splits, only hitting chest 1 time per week, but they don't mind doing other splits, and they haven't branched outside of that. Now, if someone's coming to me and their chest is lagging and they're only doing chest once per week, I would immediately say maybe you should transition to a split where you're doing push or chest twice per week or even 3 times per week instead of 1 time per week. You might need to ease into that, but that would be another example of maybe changing your splits. So again, when looking at splits, it's not, this is just minutia, and you can make a lot of splits work, but you kind of have to think about the finer details and find something that works for you. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.